Absolutely. I think that there's teams that like Stalwart, 20 points ahead of Team Falcons. And Team Falcons, by the way, in second place doing really good stuff here for Saudi Arabia. You know, getting a lot of points there on Sanhok. You know, it is a little bit cheesy to go for the hill strat, but that's where you can get the points over the 3 days here in PMWI. Those are the things you do need to do. Vampire Esports, on the other hand, fortunately slowly pulling off the leaderboard. I remember in that first day when we looked at these top players, it was all Vampire Esports. Now you're starting to see the likes of Action up there, who is really tearing up the leaderboard. 26 eliminations total, but we do still have at least Fluke here from Vampire Esports on highest damage with 3,412, although Action still making a huge splash in this lobby with almost 1,000 damage extra.
Seems to be going pretty well today for Stalwart, as it generally does. Coming into the tournament, certainly. Team that everybody was looking at. Plane path, Severny down to Sosnovka Military Base. Seemingly fairly good for most of these teams coming into this one blank. Hopefully, they'll be able to find their little corner of what is far from paradise.
I think right now this is a great circle, a great at least plane path here for Stalwart. They'll be able to drop out the plane nice and late here, head over towards Novorepnoye. Remember, on the first Erangel of the day, they were forced to actually take a little bit of an alternative route down towards the south side of Sosnovka, into the water, in fact, and go for that famed boatation all the way around to Novorepnoye. This circle, on the other hand, heavy southwest, a little bit weird here, a fair bit of it actually in the water.
Yeah, and a potential military island circle, which you're always going to mention when it goes down south, but most likely going to go to the mainland, I would say. In terms of the landmass that's available, the majority of it is on that mainland, so places around that Gatka field going to be high priority.
Yeah, Vampire Esports actually dropped out quite early here and picked up some vehicles. You see Ravenclaw already hitting the ground, knows he needs to immediately pick up a vehicle. That might cause some problems for some teams later on who might want to get some vehicles into this circle, considering this is where we're going to be finishing. But for Quarry, Primos, Ferry Pier split, there's no one here, so Vampire's going to have the absolute lot of it here, to be honest with you, John. So they'll be able to get very, very looted up and not move too far from their original position. I would hope they'd move out of Primos just a little bit, maybe take some prime time ground over towards the northern side, just the south side of Quarry here, where you have that ridge line, get some information gathered, and then get going. Nigma Galaxy, though, unchallenged here in Pachinki. Happy days for them, and hopefully a better Erangel going forward for Nigma Galaxy.
Yeah, they'll certainly be doing their daily missions, and hopefully you guys at home have too. In-game, if you complete daily missions to earn points, once enough points are accumulated, tap on the rewards icon to claim the corresponding reward.
You can also participate in the event solo, or even team up with some other friends. That's absolutely fine. And team up with some friends who you know are pretty good at PUBG Mobile. Potentially someone like Maxman who can carry you in game. That's going to make getting those rewards all the more easy.
He's almost as good at PUBG Mobile as Avenger is at breakdancing. And that's impressive.
I would say he was a little bit better. Remember, you know, in that national championship for the breakdancing, he only came second place. And I think Maxman, in terms of PUBG Mobile, he would have taken first. Looking back at the map here, though, we are checking out Nigma Galaxy in Pachinki. This is a decent landing point for them right at the beginning of the game, especially with this circle. They've got a fair, decent amount of roads to head on down. They could even stick around Pachinki for just a little bit longer, potentially even take up church position, get some nice scouting done nice and early in the game here. But for Team Seoul, potentially this is now a chance for them. Today and yesterday has been extremely rough for Team Seoul, and I think that they just aren't showing all that they've got here, potentially with Gatka being in this circle and so much ground around them being free. There is a chance here for them to prove themselves here on Erangel.
They have those opportunities, right? This is, when you are given that sort of chance, the thing that you need to take. But with teams like Vampires waiting in the wings, with teams like TJB who have been doing some pretty good stuff here and there, I would say, coming down from North George as well, it's going to be not the easiest of tasks. Certainly always going to be pretty difficult to prove yourself in this lobby. As we're on board with Goblin, looting up on one of the North Gatka compounds. Akshat currently scouting around the Everest Foothills compounds.
already heading down. But down one has actually made a very, very speedy rotate here. And this is a change they've been making quite frequently at the moment, especially even on game one today, match one, which was Erangel once again. We saw them head up towards Rozhok, challenge USG out for that position. We got a heavy northern shift there, and immediately down one's on the move. Yesterday they were playing a little bit afraid for my liking. I'm so much more used to them actually playing central. So a little bit of an issue there for them. But today they're really taking matters into their own hands.
Can't quite hear what they're saying, but there's certainly a vibe. They're going for it. We're on board with more. Everybody having a good time here in Riyadh. Certainly I am too. I mean, I've been really enjoying this tournament so far. Certainly a lot of dynamism and a lot of changes as well day to day, which I was a big fan to see of so far in the day. Down one Kia currently. Just picking up some vehicles, getting organized for the rollout. Try and channel their inner Autobot.
Absolutely. I thought the main stage was packed yesterday, but just looking at that image there, you know, the main stage is even more packed. So really good to see the turnout here from Saudi Arabia. Everyone's coming along to cheer on their favorite teams, who I assume maybe is Team Falcons, but perhaps we have a couple more members in there who have their own individual teams that they're enjoying to watch. Just looking at our top eliminators in the lobby, you know, Lightning from RSG currently topping the boards at the moment today with 12 eliminations total, 600 damage ahead of second place Action with only 9 elims today. I say only, it's quite a bit, but he's on 800 damage total. So very, very well done to Lightning from RSG, doing really the lion's shares of the work, and today he is bringing the thunder.
Just saw Ravenclaw pop out his front right tire.
Okay.
I don't know quite why he would have done that. I was thinking, oh, maybe he's got the back right tire that's down, but not entirely sure what's going on there. But you know what? Ravenclaw's a smarter man than me, certainly, in a lot of these games.
Yeah, well, what he knows is that he's on the ferry pier right now, right? If he wants to go left, he's going to go right into the water. Shoots out the front right tire, means the car is now steering off to the right-hand side. There's no way he can go into the water now. It's a next level play.
That's incredible. He's seeing the future in a way that I just can't, right? He's seeing 100 steps ahead.
That's right.
I'm only at 36 about right now. So.
He sees the thin sheets of time slowly coalescing into an edge. He sees the time knife.
That's so deep. So true. So true, so deep.
Oh, dear me.
That's going to,
Yeah, let's see.
That's going to be on your gravestone, I think.
You reckon? My quote about, about our boy Ravenclaw. But yeah, so this is actually a decent position for them regardless here in Primorsk. A decent place to start from. We talked about this nice and early on. A lot of these other teams potentially out of the way. Tongjiabao heading back towards that prolific North George spot. That's where they started to see a lot more success over on EU. So hopefully this is something that we can continue to see on Erangel. They have been a real pain for a lot of these other teams when it comes to rotating, specifically Vampire Esports. But this game, the tables are flips. It is TJB who have to come to Vampire Esports.
The shoe is on the other turntable, as I hear.
That's right. I don't know who put it there, but it's there now.
It's spinning around. The next circle is going to decide a lot of the pace of this next game plan as it comes up. It will decide if we get that military base shift or back up to that mainland. We'll see where this one pops. It's about to come through, as you can see that on your screens. Going to be deciding the pace of these next couple of minutes of gameplay.
You jumped the gun here. It's not quite there yet, but we'll wait for it to shift through. We have had a lot of hard shifts, so Southeast hard shift could be very, very interesting. It's something I imagine that Stalwart would be loving to see here. Aton Esports currently holding out that bridge on the eastern side. You can see that on your screens, though they are flanked by back-to-back. We do get pretty, I would say this is technically central circle here, considering we're pulling away from that water back onto the mainland. So Stalwart do need to now start thinking about how they want to approach this. Now, they could easily rotate down towards the Wildcats, but they've refused to do that in earlier games. So this eastern rotate for them past farm is going to be a little bit more simple for them, though they will run into this wall of teams.
Aton trying to take shots over towards back-to-back and ostensibly succeeding in their endeavor. J7 already going down, getting flushed out. It's like the Representatives from NA just going to have to take the L on that one, unfortunately. Not ideal. Team Seoul, in the meantime, they started Gatket. They moved down to the ridgeline that's got a lot of trees, a lot of hills, a lot of cover. So they're on the south side of this this central cluster of teams right now. And to be honest, I think that's the right decision for them. I really like that area. I've talked about it a lot whenever I've seen these sorts of circles. I think it's got a lot of opportunity to move away from. And I think it's got a lot of nice cover and nice positional advantage.
That's crazy. ST is so far behind the guys from Atom, but already taking a couple of knocks their way. So they're already, you know, clearing the space in front of them, even if the space in front of them is around about 500 meters. But we do know that after Stalwart had Bootcamp brutally taken away from them on last Sanhok, they're looking to lay claim to a little bit more of the landmass at the moment. You know, still show the rest of the lobby that they are the dominant force here in the PMWI.
Roll up the sleeves, get stuck in. They will do so on the eastern side.
He says as he literally rolls up his sleeves.
Inspiration follows real life, you know. It's
inspiration follows yourself.
I am the inspiration.
Inspire
You're right,
yourself.
Blink. I'm glad you think I'm the inspiration. That's very nice of you.
You're welcome.
I'm going to have to hold on to that forever.
I wouldn't.
He's never going to say something so nice to me again.
USG, I think you mentioned this actually. We were watching Erangel, the first match of the day, and you were talking about, you know, they were stuck in Rozhok and they refused to move. And that wasn't a case of they couldn't move. Maybe they were stuck behind Damwon, but Damwon just sent it all the way to the northern side, got a central compound. But this game, USG has attacked onto that and they decided to make a quick move nice and early, waiting for Nigma Galaxy to maybe vacate or just a little bit out of Pachinki. They're taking Church Hills here, so this is a decent place to be starting. RSG, Regan.s, they're still just trying to find a little place to call home. I believe they're in the mix of it, just above Box Gaming, right on the south coast. You can see them there, just holding on to the roadside. They've got a 2-2 split at the moment, so really striking out here. I think that confidence from a couple of the games previously has bled into their gameplay massively.
You would hope. You would certainly hope. Regan.s right now, as you say, in the mix. They've got Box to the south. They've got Stalwart to the eastern side. On the north end of them, I think they've got Aton and a couple of those other teams as well to be worried about. Nigma Galaxy as well, as the map is going to close yet again in just a matter of moments. So far, not a big pop-off circle, but I imagine the next one is likely to be a little bit more dramatic.
Absolutely. And just looking at, you know, Damwon, they've already lost one player here. So they send in, I respect that they're playing a lot less afraid here. They have lost one player, but it's not the end of the world. Specifically when you see this circle here, this is really, really important. You get the southwest shift and just look at the amount of teams on that northeastern edge. Goodness me, yes, Damwon's lost one player, but the amount of players that are going to be lost just in this hailstorm on the northeastern side is going to be horrific, to say the least.
It's good for teams like Vampires, like Team Seoul, who are further down on that southwest side already in that ridgeline that I talked about earlier. They can hold on to that and try and use that as some sanctuary. Unfortunately, the eastern side is going to get pushed on.
Regan.s, they've had to immediately leave that 2-2 split, come together now and try and figure out what they can do. They're looking towards the roads. They have some vehicles. This tree line is plagued very, very often, has really good sight lines over towards the road. Wildcats, not sure how long they're going to spend in this position, but I think they're just running straight past down towards Vampire Esports. Team Seoul, they've lost 2 already, so not really able to translate that early rotation from Gatka in the beginning. But Damwon, oh, they had one down, but they were able to bring him back up again. So Damwon currently at a 4-man. This is a surprise to me, but fantastic stuff either way.
Seoul have let it slip down to 2 as well, so they have a pretty decent spot for Damwon here. Falcons losing a player on the crossing out in the open. Jumper able to see off Damar. And now the Falcons have to figure out what they're going to do. Based on that information, they know where another team is, and they're playing in these fields. They've just made it to a shack, and they are just going to try and hold up for the time being. With Vampire on your oversight, though, it's not going to be the most comfy of positions.
Absolutely. You do need to be very, very careful. Now Vampire, in one of these places, like the little ditches, it's quite easy to get caught out here. Luckily, there's not too many teams around them specifically because, you know, there is a lot of open ground in this area. With so many teams watching, I think Vampire Esports can feel quite safe in their positioning for the time being. Team Falcons, though, they're being harried. A couple of teams taking shots their way, but so many teams able to make their way in. Stalwart making a long wrap over towards the northern side at the moment, but there is such a big line of field here on the eastern side that so many just want to head down towards the west. Now, the next circle could be extremely cruel, and currently teams are just trying to find a place in the circle that they can hunker down in.
They're trying to find that golden position, get a little glimmer of treasure. And if you want to get a glimmer of treasure as well, you're in luck, because from the 4th to the 13th of this month, there is a 50% off PMWI pack sale. Get a set straight away, and 5 chances to draw PMWI treasure chests as well.
And from the 14th of August through to the 15th of September, just in case you missed that previous sale, were extremely nice. There's still 16% off PMWI packs, and you get 6 chances to draw PMWI treasure chests.
Next circle comes on in down towards the bridge, which leaves Vampires in the circle again on this ridgeline that we've talked about a couple of times now. The western edge, though, looking to be pushed in potentially by TJB, by Falcons, and I think that's... who else is that on the western end? That was Vivo Keyed as well.
Yeah. Yeah, so Vivo Key currently in this area, TJB just barreling their way into the circle at the moment. Yet to take too many casualties, but swinging straight past Vampire Esports directly towards the Wildcats here. But Ravenclaw in the tower takes some shots down. Tink Skirt, he's out of the vehicle. The car's going skirt in its way as well.
GK first takes a tumble outside the Wildcats compound. It looks like Fluketh is looking for the flush, pick up the point, take it away. Xiao trying to get away in the buggy. Lin as well, running for Ferry Pier, for that area to try and get a little bit of cover, to try and stay alive. Nades from outside the window. And the crowd cheers. Falcons hold now for the moment in the shack.
Falcons really have captured the hearts of the people here in Riyadh at the moment. It's so great to see. I mean, they are just in the shack at the moment, guys. This is a mean replay to show out at that.
Right,
we had
timing.
Cheers for them, and now we get to see them explode. But again, they're still in the circle at the moment. Stalwart, though, living. They're on the northern edge. They still have to cross the field, so, and that is the difficulty when it comes to this circle. Down one, on the other hand, still holding strong here. You know, you're going to get bruised and battered on the way in if you try and change this gameplay very quickly. They wanted to come into today with a little bit more oomph.
Speaking of them, there's an auto shot going around the side. A Soul with the remaining 2 players clash with Nigma Galaxy. 2 players alive and up and standing. Only the one for Soul right now on the top floor. It's Akshat to hold off against Freak as he pushes through. Stays alive, but low HP. Info given. That's an ankle tapped as well as Lord's timer does tick down lower. Push from Ralph. The first aid not quite there. And Akshat falls. Soul eliminated.
What is that? Is that a Molotov from his own teammate? Ralph actually? No, he won't bleed out from that. He'll stay just alive long enough. Get a quick replay here. It's 52 Esports rocking up on Falcons.
Oh.
One goes down on the approach and a nade over the top. Okay.
Beautiful. What a way to stop a crash. I mean, take them down before you get there. Love to see it. Box with 3 players now. We're on board on the eastern side of the circle, next to Virtual Gaming Squad. As VGS with 4 players alive against the 3 of Box to hold this out.
Virtual Gaming Squad looking to make their way into this compound. Box, though, holding the warehouse. There are smokes available to a couple of these teams. You can see Regan's off in the distance with DD there. I think the main advantage that Vampire Esports have gotten from this particular circle, though the ditch maybe is just a little bit misleading, is they've got so much information just gathered because they haven't had to move whatsoever, whereas it's been a gauntlet for everyone else.
The Americas clash, Vivo Keyed and back-to-back on this hillside, very, very close to one another, taking shots either which way. But it's actually the Donuts who come through, I believe. No, Stalwart, sorry, taking shots over towards Cielo. Will be able to take down one of those Vivo Keyed players and give back-to-back a little bit of time to get J-Way back up to his feet.
Oh my goodness me. Next circle pops and it's right on top of Regan's. And look at that, a gift from the skies. Loot box directly on their position. Regan's really do want to translate this. And with the current scoring they've done today, they might even be able to shoot up into a 3rd, 2nd, or even a 1st if they have a very, very good game here on Erangel. Stalwart, on the other hand, they're taking heavy casualties on this western edge. It's not been easy for them. They've headed up the eastern bridge, over the top side. Now they're trying to wrap in on the west. And again, the circle moves away from them.
All this group of teams on the west going to have to push in. It looks like Never Alone gets spotted. The Falcons, they're going to have to move, and I don't think Yusuf's going to have the best time. Moving forwards for these next couple of minutes, Donuts.USG, 4 players alive. Damwon Kia, 4 players alive as well. All of these teams on the northwest side have cover. They are in this next circle.
Yeah, Damwon's been holding a very, very good compound for a very long time, especially with their instant push into here. Back-to-back, though, send Vivo keyed back into the blue here and back to the lobby.
Getting their teammate back up pays dividends, as they are able to eliminate the sidelines. But Vampire Esports are on the bead. This is Stone on the back of their progression into the circle. He's a rear guard right now, trying to harry B2B. Not going to be able to land too many shots, but forcing them a little bit further north, as they're going to crash straight on into Donuts.USG and actually be able to get one of the rundowns. Omikun not going to have the best of times with that one, unfortunately. Stalwart get eliminated, and back-to-back straight into the Damwon Kia compound. There's 2 teams here. If they fight through Damwon Kia, they're going to have to deal with a little bit more. Judy holds the gap, holds the line for Damwon Kia, as Polo has to think about healing up here. In pushes Forest.
Ooh.
The vehicle goes up in flames, and with it, back-to-back's forward guard.
Shrapnel directly to back here, and they are not going much further. Damwon Gaming, though, now they have to think about keeping everyone off this position. They've done extremely well. We've seen them lighting up the elimination feed at the moment, taking shots all over the place. But even so, there is now 2 teams in their vicinity. 4 rivals, the Indonesian team, as well as Iraq Enigma Galaxy, who have managed to coast their way into that southern edge.
A quiet game so far for Vampire Esports. They've been holding their stronghold on this ridgeline, and now they're going to start to slowly gain steam.
Damn.
There we go, finally got it out. As Damwon Kia finally have it out for the Donuts.USG squad. Missile behind the vehicle. That place has not been safe historically, and it's not going to be safe anymore. 4 rivals enter the fray as well, as Forest drops the smoke out to try and get a little bit of respite, but Jumper gets knocked. And everybody else from 4 rivals gonna be a little bit slower now, but there's nades starting to pop into the warehouse. Looks to put the damage in and move closer to this next circle.
Voki tries to drop a grenade over the top. Previously, the team's ambassador turned player, and he's been doing really, really well for the team, but he does go down in the middle of it. Regan's, though, taking the fight to Vampire right on that southwest coast. So, you know, even southwest edge, even though they are in the center of the circle right now, they are being very proactive. These shots are unbelievable with the AOG over towards Stoned.
Trying to slow them down, and if you could slow the Vampires, that is absolutely phenomenal on that western edge. Draw the attention that way as well as they try and make their push. They're down to 2 with Ravenclaw on the floor. Schweppes tries to make it to the tree, but Ravenclaw is going to get picked up here.
Regan's still going strong for them. And through from the 4th of August through to the 13th, all users in a specific region of the top 3 teams will have the chance to win a prize. You get maximum of 1 award per user, though, so make sure you make it count, just like Wildcats are here, trying to make their way into the circle.
Ooh.
Defoe goes down to Rocky, and it's a rocky start for Wildcats, and they are clambering.
1-2 punch from Rocky to slow everything down, stay in the round, but for now...
Lightning!
Box Gaming eliminated in the meantime. Lightning just striking seemingly more than once, as teams just start falling like flies. There was absolute chaos here on the south side.
You cannot say that this guy has not done so much for the team, but I will say, even though Regans only have 7 eliminations so far, it really does not matter. Honestly, they have put in so much work, so many little bits of damage around the map that he has crushed people coming into this circle. They have been cut up on the way in, and Regans, they're the barbed wire.
It's going to be really difficult to get anything done against this squad now as the Wildcats try and make their last-ditch attempt. Just Lux out in the shack. Potentially going to try and heal out and get a little bit further into this game. Wait for a couple more teams to be eliminated, as Damwon Kia at risk of being one of those teams. It is just Sung now. After their position on that northwestern side, they have really, really suffered in these fights. They've been the team to fend off everyone on that western edge, and they are paying the price. The consequences are coming home to roost. Enigma Galaxy putting the pressure on Sung.
there is still an opportunity here for him. He jumps through the window, gets one. Ralph's very low HP. The shots from the side, but it's 4 rivals to take him down. Goodness me, Sun could have had a real run with that one. Still 8 eliminations and a 6th place. This is beautiful stuff for Damwon Kia, but it's Regan still with 4 players remaining. And I'll say it again, this team has just not waited quietly in the center of this circle. They've been all over the place. Flower tries to take some shots down, will get knocked in the process, and there's a vehicle coming up towards him.
It's an even trade there, and they will try and keep him alive as well. Having 4 players in this final circle is going to be incredibly useful. 4 rivals down to 3, Enigma Galaxy down to 2.
Enigma Galaxy just trying to keep themselves alive here, but it's the Indo team of 4 rivals who have really suffered so low on HP at the moment. Enigma Galaxy going to try and make their push up. This is a different Enigma Galaxy to what we saw yesterday. Fantastic stuff from them, and they're looking to take down the final players, but it is Jumper. This guy is a clutch maestro, but Ralph just spots the legs and will take out the calves.
2 versus 4 now. 2 teams remain. It is once again Regan's from China starting to step up, starting to gain a little bit of traction. And we are going to be seeing them take the fight to Enigma Galaxy as Ralph goes down. Just Lord, 1 versus 4. And you've got to wonder what can be done against Regan's 11 eliminations. Well, they do lose a player. Lightning goes down. They have been found just a little bit lacking there. Lord, though, low HP, takes the fight, nade in hand. Flower has backup from his team, finds another, and there's the nade. It looked maybe like something could happen, but the Regans had it on lock.
I did not expect that from Lord there. The fact that he was able to make that happen at the last moment, he was so aggressive as well. Very different type of Enigma Galaxy than what we've seen before. Very well done.
Excellently closed out